Hello students, we are going to start the boundary conditions for electric field in the first case, which is dielectric interface. There are two mediums, medium 1 and medium 2, both are dielectric, as we can see in the figure, and this is a plane separating the two medium. It is mentioned here, this is the plane which is separating the two medium, and this is the normal to the plane, and E1 is incidenting on this plane, which is making angle theta 1 with the normal and making angle alpha 1 with the interface. E1 has two component, E10(1) and En1, and in the medium 2, E2 is entering, and E2 has two component, E10(2) and En2. E2 is making angle theta 2 with the normal and angle alpha 2 with the interface. We can write E1 is equal to E10(1) plus En1 in the vector sum, and E2 is equal to E10(2) plus En2 in the vector sum. Now we are applying the rule, the circulation of electric field is 0, or the line integration of electric field in the closed path is 0. So this is our closed path, which we have assumed. So this is our closed path, and the closed path is rectangular path. It is AB, CD, EFA. The closed path is AB, CD, EFA. Okay, the length of AB is L, the length of BC is H1, the length of CD is H2, the length of DE is again L, and the length of EF is again H2, and the length of FA path is H1. Now the above is medium 1 and the below of the plane is medium 2. Now we will line integrate E vector with DL vector. So there are AB path, BC path, CD path, DE path, EF path, and FA path. So we will put all the line integrations like E10(2)dl. First is E10(2)dl. Why? Because here we are talking about for AB path. In the AB path, E10(2) vector is in this direction, and DL vector is in also this direction. Now for the second BC path we will take En2 dl. For the CD path we will take En1 dl. Why we are taking here minus sign? Because the direction is opposite. Here En2 direction is downward, but BC direction is upward, so that's why we are taking minus sign. Similarly, minus of En1 dl and then minus of E10(1) dl. Why we are taken minus sign? Because E10(1) is in this direction as it is mentioned, and dl vector is in this direction. It is mentioned direction is opposite direction. They both are making 180-degree angle. That's why minus sign we are taking. En1 into dl and plus En2 into dl. This is EF path and this is your FA path. So En2 into L minus En2 into H1, because L is total length of AB path and total length of BC path is H1, minus En1 into H2 minus E10(1) into L complete length, and En1 into H2 plus En2 into H1, and this term will cancel, and this term will cancel. So what we will get? We will get here E10(2) into L minus E10(1) into L is equal to 0, and when we will solve, then we will get this boundary condition, E10(1) is equal to E10(2). So this is our first boundary condition which we have obtained from the rule circulation E vector dot dl vector is equal to 0. Now we can also determine the relationship between normal components, and to obtain the relationship between normal components, we will use Gauss law. And how to use Gauss law? It is surface integration d vector dot ds vector is equal to charge enclosed. To apply the Gauss law, we have to assume the closed surface. So here we are assuming a cylinder as a closed surface, and the cylinder consists of three surfaces, and this surface is top surface, and this surface is here curved surface, and there is one more surface, bottom surface here. This is bottom surface. Let the area of the bottom surface is A, then top surface will also have the same area A. And this is the electric field E1. This is here medium 1, and this is here medium 2. So this is the electric field E1, which is two component E10(1) and En1. Now the flux from the top surface will be due to normal component En1, and the flux on the bottom surface is due to the normal component En2, and the flux through the curved surface will be equal to 0. So here dn1 dot ds for the top surface plus dn2 dot ds for the bottom surface is equal to 0. Here we are assuming that there is no charge present on the plane which is separating the two surfaces. So that's why charge enclosed by the Gaussian surface will be equal to 0. And why we have taken minus sign for the top surface here? Because these two vectors are opposite direction. If dn1 vector is downward direction, but ds vector is in upward direction, so these two vectors are having 180-degree angle. So since 180-degree angle, that's why here minus sign is present. So here is a minus sign. Now minus of dn1 into A. Why A? Because the total area, when we will integrate ds, then we will obtain total area, and total area is A, plus dn2 into integration of ds, it is total area for the bottom surface, it is also equal to A, is equal to 0. And when we will solve it, so we will get here dn1 is equal to dn2, or epsilon 1 en1 is equal to epsilon 2 en2, because d is equal to epsilon into E. So en1 by en2 is equal to epsilon 2 by epsilon 1, or we can write epsilon r2 by epsilon r1. So this is another boundary condition for the electric field. Now here we will also take case number 2. Let the separating plane containing charge. So if the separating plane containing charge, then Q enclosed is equal to rho s into area, and the area will be equal to A, as it is shown in this figure. This area, so this area will be equal to A. So the total charge which will be contained by the Gaussian surface will be equal to rho s into A. So now we are using this condition, double integration d vector dot ds vector is equal to charge enclosed. So minus dn1 into ds plus dn2 into ds is equal to rho s into A. So here what we will obtain, the result is mod of dn2 minus dn1 is equal to rho s. So this is also a very important thing. If rho s is given, then we will apply this boundary condition. If rho s is 0, then dn1 is equal to dn2. Thank you for watching the video.